Background information is an essential part of doing research. It gives you those basic facts and it familiarizes you with your topic. It's the contextual information that grounds good design and can be the difference between a successful project that you can sell and one that is really rejected by the community that it's for. You already do this all the time when you come across something you're unfamiliar with and you immediately jump to Google or Wikipedia to figure out what it is. However, when it comes to design, a lot more is on the line. You can't go to the head of an architectural firm and say, well, I read it on Wikipedia, so no, that's not going to cut it. That isn't to say that Wikipedia is a horrible source. It's a pretty good place to start out. Make sure that you always check the references to see where they're getting their information. This bibliography can be a good place to start. One way that you're going to want to judge the trustworthiness of your sources is figuring out who is responsible for this information. Who's the author or who published it? If you're going to use the information to make design decisions, you want to know that someone else, not just you, is putting their reputation on the line when it comes to this information. The problem with Wikipedia is that nobody is signing their name to this. No one is taking responsibility for this content. So, then how can you find reliable background information? The fact is that the library actually buys and subscribes to a great many number of encyclopedias, both online and in print, that you can use to find really good quality information. So what we can do is start at the library's website, and that's just ucblibraries.colorado.edu. And go ahead to go to Find, and this is where we list the different types of formats and different types of information that you can find on our website. And we'll go ahead and go to encyclopedias. You'll get a quick overview of an encyclopedia and why you might want to use it, but we'll jump right into the different types of encyclopedias. And here you can find some of the main online encyclopedias. Encyclopedias you can access from home through your entire career here at CU. So this is a good place to remember. Let's start with the Encyclopedia Britannica, right? A pretty basic, trustworthy source. You get to this little screen here and you'll need to click through to the Encyclopedia Britannica. So here we are, and I'll just go ahead and do a search on that sort of theoretical city, which I'm going to be using as an example, and that's Istanbul. So we'll look it up here, and we'll find there's a whole bunch of articles on different places, different things in Istanbul. We'll go just with the basic Istanbul entry. The first thing I'm going to notice is that they're giving me the alternate names for Istanbul, right? I really want to take note of that. Constantinople, right? Ancient Byzantium, the Byzantine Empire, the Ottoman Empire. These are all really good keywords that I may want to search later as I continue on. And you'll notice there's a lot of really good information about the landscape, the layout, the architecture, the culture, history. And this is really going to give you that summary that you're going to need when you start designing something for a specific location, a specific city. You want to take note of the historical context, how the city is laid out, and how it got laid out that way. Another really important thing to notice is that all of these encyclopedia articles are going to have really fantastic bibliographies, and these are going to save you a lot of time. You could look through the library's catalog, the library stack, for the best book on Istanbul, and you might wade through lots and lots of really not so good books on Istanbul. But here you'll see some of the important books on, for example, Istanbul in modern times. And I'll notice the emergence of modern Istanbul. Well, that sounds like really important to selling Istanbul and selling a new project in Istanbul. So I'll take note of that, and I may come back and get that later. So another really good encyclopedia is Gale Virtual Reference Library. And why it's so good is it's actually a combination of many different encyclopedias that you can search across, and they're all online. So if If I start searching Istanbul here, you'll notice I'll start getting some interesting entries that talk about people that were born in Istanbul. This is where I can use the subject headings and the facets on the left-hand side sort of narrow down my search. Actually I'm interested in Istanbul, Turkey, the city. So I can click here and narrow my results just to that. And what you'll notice is that I'm getting views and summaries of Istanbul from various different encyclopedias. Each of them have a different lens, right? Sort of the historical Istanbul during the age of industry, or Istanbul from a Jewish perspective, or simply the cities of the world. Modern Istanbul after World War I, the modern Middle East and North Africa, so putting it in more of a Middle Eastern context. I can really get encyclopedia entries that are looking at the important aspects of Istanbul from multiple different perspectives. And the final way I'm going to show you to find encyclopedias, if I click over to this Finding Encyclopedias tab, is Reference Universe. And this has entries both from online encyclopedias and physical encyclopedias in the library. So it can actually help you look through all of the encyclopedias in the library to find entries on what you're looking for. So I'll go here and look for Istanbul. And what I see is some of the same ones I saw in Gale Virtual Reference Library, but I also see the Dictionary of Islamic Architecture. Well, that seems like it could be really useful to my project, right? I'd want to know the history of Islamic architecture in Istanbul. Maybe I'd want to quote some of that in my designs. So I want to come here and take a look at this entry. And you'll see here all the different entries that are in this one, in this dictionary here. Different buildings, one entry entirely on the city, and then all sorts of entries on different buildings which are within Istanbul. So if I want to go ahead and get this, I'll click Locate This Book. And what I'll find is that this is actually a print book, and it's located in the library's stacks, and actually in the Art and Architecture reference section. And you could go and get it and find those entries. So in the next video, I'll be showing you how to find books like this